each other's eyes. Tired snowflakes are coming down.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for hanging out on my channel and joining me for another video. So today's video, as you can tell by the title, is a July plan with me. Now this is not my normal type of content, but I do really enjoy bullet journaling, and a lot of people have seen photos on my Instagram or see me bullet journaling in other videos and have requested to do a plan with me video. So today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how I plan out my bullet journal for the month ahead, how I've been planning my YouTube content, and then also just the little bits and pieces that I do to plan every day. Now I am 100% firmly of the belief that planning leads to productivity, and without some kind of plan or direction for your day, for your week, for your month, and for your life, you're just going to waste away. Now in my house, I plan in a couple of ways. So I've got my bullet journal, which is mostly for me, and it's kind of a mixture of personal stuff, and it just kind of mapped out my overview. It also was kind of like a little bit of a journal, so keeping like track of, things that were important to me. It's where I plan out my monthly goals and then my bigger, broader yearly goals. And it's also just where I keep track of, just things that I want to remember. We also have like a month-to-month calendar that I set out, and I put that up on my fridge so that I know exactly when the boys are coming and going. Anything that is school related, anything that I need to see every day in front of my face to make sure I don't forget about it, that's what's up on the fridge calendar. I like to use the bullet journal, like I said, more of a personal journal. And each month I pretty much follow the same format. And now I've been bullet journaling for quite a number of years. I think I started back in 2016. So I've kind of fine-tuned to what works for me. And I always like to start with just a calendar overview on the first page for the month. And this is just so I can, again, see the whole month at a glance. And then I'll go into kind of more weekly spreads. And I've tried lots of different weekly spreads. So I've tried 1 week to 2 pages, 1 week to 1 page, a day to a page. And what works for me is just to have a week to a page on one side of the double spread. So that is just listing out the 7 days of the week. And this is where I'm going to record any kind of important like appointments or events. So anything that has like a time frame or that's a definite time that needs to be remembered.
Standing underneath the lights, look into each other's eyes. Tired snowflakes are coming down, collapse into water when they hit the ground. I hear the sound of empty streets, and yesterday has gone to sleep. So all that's left is you and me. I can promise you're the only thing I see. Hold my hand and hear the words I say. Close your eyes and let us fade away. Build a secret place for you and me, and let our minds be caught up in a dream. Quiet voices in the night.
Now on the second page of the 2-page spread, I like to have just a running weekly to-do list where I can just brain dump everything that I need to do that week. Then I also like to have a spot where I can track some habits that I'm really trying to work on at the time. I usually include some kind of motivational quote. And then the last thing I really like to do is just leave a little space to record some highlights for that week. So just anything that I am either grateful for or that was just a really nice highlight to be able to look back on and remember. Just having those memories to look back on for what you were doing and what was the highlight of your week. And I really enjoy this, looking back in my old bullet journals and just remembering those key highlights. Now, as I was doing this bullet journal layout spread, I had Pinterest open, and I use Pinterest a ton for inspiration for bullet journaling. There are literally so many spreads on there. So if you are interested in starting a bullet journal, but you just kind of don't know where to start, I would highly recommend checking out Pinterest. And you just do a search for bullet journal or Bujo, B-U-J-O, weekly spreads, and you will be overwhelmed with inspiration because some of them are so incredible. For me, I prefer to do more like on the minimal side. I don't want something that is going to take forever to set up. I definitely don't fill it up with tons of artistic drawings and things. I literally have 3 things that I can draw, and that is like stars, flowers, and hearts. And so I just make that my continual theme throughout the years. And I know that the more I practice at things, obviously the better you get. And I've definitely improved in both hand lettering, handwriting, and little doodles. So now I can basically do them in my sleep. But it is something that I find fun. I find it really relaxing, not like gardening, and I really enjoy it. It is also really great to, calm the chaos. You don't want to have 1,000 things on your mind. And I know for me, one of the easiest ways that I'm going to get stressed out is if I don't have my whole life planned, and then I start forgetting things or I'm late for things. That is the absolute easiest way to get me stressed. And as you can see here, I'm not one for fussy, complicated, lots of lines, lots of drawing. So when I came to my habit tracker, I just wanted to keep it as super simple as possible. I don't want anything that you're going to have to draw hundreds and hundreds of little boxes. I just want to keep it really super simple, quick to set up, but at the same time, kind of looking a little bit cute.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope. Fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away.
Gosh, I didn't want to just talk non-stop over this entire video, but here we are again, chatty chat. The one thing that I really like about bullet journaling is you literally don't need many supplies. You basically need a notebook and a pen, and that is it. You can get started. You can absolutely get carried away buying tons of different stationery, but you literally need a notebook. It doesn't even need to be a bullet journal. It can just be a notebook. I think the first one that I used when I first started out was around $10. A black fine liner pen, and if you want to, a couple of color pens just to add some accent colors. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. You can literally use a black fine line pen and Crayola super tips, which you can pick up for a couple of bucks at Officeworks or Staples or any office supply store. And that's literally it. You have a ton of inspiration available to you on YouTube or on Pinterest. And it's just, up to your imagination how complicated or how simple you want to make it.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach?
Now I wanted to just take you through a little overhead flip through, which is what I enjoy looking at. So the start was just the monthly calendar overview with a to-do and a to-be list, and then just some of the weekly spreads laid out. And I'm just leaving the last 3 weeks of the month blank on the second half, that I can make sure that the layout of the habit tracker and the highlights and the to-do list is really working well for the first half. So that is the bullet journal section. It is nothing too complicated. Now I'm moving on to, this is what I use for both my weekly planner that I put in the fridge for the family, and also what I've started using as a bit of like a content planner for YouTube. So obviously now working full time in the YouTube area, I really want to make sure that I am on top of the game and getting really organized and planning out YouTube and really project managing it and treating it like it is a job. So not just videos haphazardly and last minute, making sure that the content is planned and that even if I got sick or went on holidays or lost my voice or whatever, I'd still have videos and content to put up on my channel. Now, the way that I've been doing it, and it works really well, and I have implemented things that I would normally do in my work. So I take some of our like agile project management principles and I'm applying it to my home business. So just using sticky notes to plan out the content. And this means that I can plan it out, but because it's sticky, it's not set in stone, I can take them and move them around if anything changes. I like this gives a broad overview of the month, but it allows for some flexibility and to be able to change. You know, sometimes I might feel like, or I might need to do something in my home organization. So I'll make a video about that. And if that's not planned, then I can just switch out whatever I've got planned for that day's upload, move it to a later time, and then switch in another video. But it means that I do have some degree of structure. And I'm not just left at the last minute, oh my God, what am I going to put up for today's video? Now, the last thing that I wanted to share with you is just how I sort of plan out my everyday, day-to-day to-do list. Some things that you just do every day, including like shopping lists or little errands that you've got to run, I don't necessarily need to put them into my bullet journal that I want to keep sort of as a long-term reference and memory. I'll just use either a kind of a scrap notebook or a to-do list like this, and I'll just write out all the things that I want to get done on the day, including shopping lists, any random lists, and I just basically use it as a daily brain dump. And I find that this works really well for keeping productive, getting motivated, and actually getting things done. I remember I read somewhere that people who write their goals down are 98% more likely to achieve them just by simply literally writing them down. And I can vouch for that 1,000%. I used to keep my to-do list in like a little old spiral notebook, and I still have some from a couple of years ago. And it's amazing to look back and just see like on the day-to-day to-do list that you had planned, like how much I've accomplished and how productive I was when I stick to writing lists. Now, if you are not a list maker, I would highly encourage you to give it a try. And I know there's a lot of people who are watching my channel who are definitely 100% list makers, but I hope that you picked up a few pointers or tips or just got entertained. I really like watching how other people plan. In fact, I really like watching people who can really nicely hand letter and really create beautiful bullet journal spreads. It's definitely something that I'm working on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It is great feedback for me and it lets me know that you like this kind of content and for me to keep on making it.
Take me back to when we were kids and didn't care if we were acting stupid.
If you are new here, be sure to subscribe before you go or hang out and watch another video or two. Have a great week. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.
I don't have no time to waste, I'm trying